speaking with Jim Renacci about his book, The GOP's Lost Decade, and Jim takes note of one of the major power plays in sort of recent history. And, Jim, I'll be transparent with you. I wasn't a big John McCain fan, but I felt the Obama administration was such a high risk that, me and my family supported Senator McCain at that time in 2007, 2008. And it was shocking to see a man that we know had a brain tumor fly back to Washington from his home where he was dealing with the horrible disease that had struck him, to basically vote no against a pretty watered down Affordable Care Act replacement bill, just as a vendetta vote against Trump. At least that's how I felt. So I want to give you a chance to speak to that and talk about that experience from that happening from your perspective.
Well, first, I want to say that I was a supporter of John McCain, Senator McCain, when he ran for president, because I was so concerned about, at that time, Senator Barack Obama winning, that I really believed and supported Senator McCain. So I got to know him. But I was really shocked because the bill that we had to get passed was a watered-down bill that would have transformed health care and actually saved the American people from a disaster that continues now to go forward, which is Medicaid expansion, the Affordable Care Act, and many of the pieces of the Affordable Care Act that really do need to be changed or financially are going to affect our country going forward. So there were a lot of things in that bill that were good. There were a lot of things I wasn't comfortable with. It did protect pre-existing conditions, which I know many Americans want. It took Medicaid expansion back to a block grant system, which would have helped our country and made more transparency by pushing it down to the state levels. So a lot of good things. Some things were not good, but in the end, it was a bill that would have transformed the Affordable Care Act to something that was more acceptable. So most people in the Republican Party were willing to vote for it, to be able to move this forward. And by the way, it was one of the promises of the lost decade. We were going to fix health care. And it was our first and only chance, because it was through reconciliation, a special way of getting things done, which you can't do in the Senate without 60 votes. So we were able to get something done that would have transformed healthcare and moved it in the right direction. And everybody thought that the Senate, and although there was a very slim majority, was going to pass this bill and not need the 60 votes until, as we all learned, Senator McCain flew back in and walked in sometime around midnight just with a thumbs down and shocked everybody, because his vote literally changed the course of fixing the Affordable Care Act. And very few of us knew that vote was coming until he did that. So it was upsetting to many of us, because it was the first chance for the Republicans to get something done in healthcare. Not the perfect answer, but an answer. And in the end, we had a Republican in the middle of the night vote it down.